Alright, so how do you get out of a creative rut? Now, I was kind of thinking about this because, well, right now I'm kind of in a creative rut where it's like, I guess the main thing I'm feeling is like, okay, so I made that one video last time where it was like I defeated perfectionism by just uploading, just achieving my goal of 5 days. And then I did troublingly so, I did the exact same thing where it's like, I'll just get to it and I won't really build up the components needed for a video, right? And then it's like, oh, well, it'll be easy because I can do it in a day, because that's kind of, I don't know if you caught this last time, but that's sort of the sentiment I had in my previous video where I was like, I could do this all in one day, but instead of doing that, I'm going to take the easy win. And, oh, mineshaft again. But of course, it's hard to say whether this is the result of me taking the easy win or not that I'm back here, but I think the thing is that the real failing I had is not doing a little bit, right? Instead of seeing the tasks for what it is, for some reason, I decided to see it as a whole big thing, like my next video, because I kind of made a very easy video last time, this one has to be grand, so I have to put in all the stops and make sure that I prove that I've still got it and that I'm not going away. And I think creative ruts, right? I think that's the environment where they actually grow the most, when you do have major expectations, but you're kind of in a weak spot where it's like maybe the wins that you've built up aren't like the kind of wins that actually take you from point A to point B, something like that. So then, what exactly would the solution to that be? And off the top of my head, I guess, like, the obvious answer is just, like, start building something up. But if building up the wrong thing gets you into a creative rut, then what's the point? I think maybe that's like an oversimplified way of thinking about it that doesn't actually align with how our minds work. I think the way our minds work is kind of like, sometimes we need one thing, but other times we need another thing. And I think creative blocks a lot of the time can be just like a way to put on the brakes, a way for your subconscious to put on the brakes and tell you, yo, there's something not right here. Like, oh shit, okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to curse or whatever. But yeah, anyways, where did I come from? Probably down here, no? No, I definitely came from somewhere else. Alright, so it's pumping the brakes. Why is it pumping the brakes? Here we go. Let's see, why would the mind be pumping the brakes? I guess it would be right, because you're doing something, but you have like different ideas inside of your head. While I was making that last video where I just kind of talk over and record whatever I'm thinking, it's like I have this idea of like, okay, well, I'm gonna return to form next time, and it'll be super great and all that, and I'll carry on like nothing ever happened. But I still wasn't doing like the small little pieces because I was too focused on the grand prize, so to speak. So I think this is probably a point where it would be really helpful to define what a creative rut is. I think by definition, a creative rut exists from kind of like your expectations. It's like a creative rut is when you can still create, right? Because like physically you can do that. You can if you decide to draw, you can like put a pencil onto paper and you can like draw something. If you know how to draw a face, you can like draw the guidelines, you can draw the face, you can shade it in, and you have a face. So it's a creative rut isn't the inability to... Holy... Okay, let's... Where's my shovel? Did I not bring it with... Oh, I hella brought it with me, I'm pretty sure. Right. That is not a person. We're gonna do it like this. It is not a person because I'm playing alone. So it's not the inability to create something, because clearly you can create something if you like really force yourself to. So I think a creative rut is kind of like when you can't figure out what to do next, when you can't like make progress. When you're a creative rut as an artist, it's like, oh shoot. Oh man, I just lost all my stuff and I'm gonna get ejected. So a creative rut is when you when you have like an expectation, as we said earlier, but when you can't make progress towards that expectation because it's like, okay, I can draw a face, but like this isn't improved from last time. It's like, I'm not learning something new from this. Creative block would be the inability to make progress, I would say. So the inability to make progress. And what exactly is progress? Progress is like taking one step forward. And like, I know that sounds like incredibly obvious, but I'm kind of getting somewhere with that. You're taking a step forward, but you can't take that step forward because it's literally blocked. Like there's a giant boulder in your way and you can't take that step to get through it, right? It's physically blocking you from going in that direction, and that's the key part, in that direction. That is what creative block does. It prevents you from going into a specific desired direction. And that's the trouble of it, right? Because if you're an artist... Yo, can he hear me from all the way over there? That's crazy. It stops you from going in that direction, crucially, which is important because, say you're an artist, you want to be going in the direction of like improving at art, making artworks, showing up to do the same thing that you've always been doing, which is, you know, creating some artwork, uploading it, sharing it with people, showing your progress, improving mechanically, things like that, right? And art block is just saying no to that. I guess that's the time to just ignore art maybe and start like cooking eggs or something, like cook some eggs and eat some eggs and just like chill out. But the problem remains, which is that like you're not really making progress, and it's like if art block forces you to go in some random direction, then it's like, how do you know you're ever going to get out of it? And alright, woo. So if you let art block do its thing, then you're subject to the whims of the art block. Like what do you do about that? Long story short, I would say the answer is to do that something that's not good enough anyways in the direction that you wanted to go. And okay, so you're not making progress, you're not making something that's better than last time, sure. But what you are doing is, rather than setting your floor to be not doing anything, you're setting your floor to be doing something, right? So if you were here for my last video, then you know that my goal was to make a video in 5 days. And then I kind of kept the same goal this time, but then I over-ruminated on it, and I was like, well, I'll just do it tomorrow, and then it's like, blah, blah, blah. I was like... and then I felt bad for not doing it, because it was like, oh, I had everything set up, I had the script, I just needed to record and talk into the mic and, you know, draw a little bit, but I didn't do that. And then I was like, okay, well, if I just make another video, then it's kind of like I'm making excuses. I'm saying like, oh, well, it's okay if I don't make anything because I have this in the backup. But I think in reality, like, this is day 6 and no video uploaded. I think in reality, like, the purpose of setting a baseline is to commit to that baseline. So if I say 5 days per video, then I should upload in 5 days. And it's like, that can happen whether or not I'm completed, or I'm done with what I actually wanted to make. Like, I've made some progress on a video idea, but that doesn't mean that I have to wait until that video is done. And it's like, it's interesting because now I'm following a second bit of advice. You know, the advice I followed last time is just show up. The one thing everyone who's successful has in common is they show up. Whether it's like studying, right? You study, like that's your job. You just like open the book. That's what you do. You have to open the work. You can't read words without opening the book. And just because you read a word doesn't mean you have to read a paragraph if you can't read that paragraph, but you gotta like open the book up, right? So that's the advice I followed last time by just uploading that video. And this time I'm following that advice, yes, but I'm also following another second bit of advice. Shoot, I forget what it was. This was so important. It was so important. What am I doing differently now than before? I guess the difference is like last time I felt pretty good about like just accomplishing it. Oh yeah, you don't have to hide just because you're not finished. You don't have to be finished to show up, right? Like things take time. It's okay to take that time while, you know, doing what you can do to show up, because showing up is what builds capacity. And when you have the capacity to keep showing up, it makes it a whole lot easier, because, you know, when the creative block is gone, sorry, I've got like hiccups or something. When the capacity is built, when you do have the thing done, you're not like rusty on the showing up part of it, and can just become another day where it's like, oh, now this is ready, let me put it out there. And that was one of the hardest things for me at first. It's funny because it's flipped right now where I'm like showing up instead of like finishing the things, but that's kind of what I needed, because if I allow myself to get rusty at showing up, then it's a lot more catastrophic. I mean, not catastrophic, it's the wrong word, like the world's not ending. Oh no way, this is a different place! It's not the end of the world if I stop showing up, but it's a lot worse if I stop showing up versus if I keep showing up and like present something mediocre. That's kind of the main deal of it, no? Showing up even when you've got nothing to show for it. And I think when you do that, it's like you're ticking off checkboxes. So, you know, say you have a to-do list, draw, commentate, record, upload. That's four boxes to check off, and like that can be, you know, a lot of the time it's probably gonna be easy, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially when you are suffering from creative block. So then, like, easy thing to do, of course, just check off some of the boxes. Right now I'm checking off recording, checking off uploading. Are you serious? You know, I'll go in the elevator. I also, in the background, I've been, you know, fiddling around with producing music, and it's, if you look at my shorts, you'll be able to see what I was kind of doing. And the idea behind that was like, okay, well, I wasn't like getting to the computer and going on FL Studio and like actually working on something specific. Instead, what I did was I just found some kind of like music producing app on my phone, and I turned on YouTube like I've been doing, like my lazy bum moments, just going on YouTube. But instead of just being lazy and like watching YouTube and like vegging out, I was also fiddling around on this music production app, and I made some kind of music, just casually, very casually, while listening to other stuff. So when it comes to tackling creative block, I feel like, yeah, I like that seems like the right thing to do. Another important note is that because I'm uploading consistently now, we get to see if that does pay off or if it doesn't, right? Because if I have to make a video every 5 days, and then 3 videos from now, it's like the same kind of Lethal Company stuff, but I'm like running out of steam, like less things to talk about, or whatever, then yeah, maybe this doesn't work. But if it's like 3-4 videos from now and I'm back to drawing and I've got some scripted topic that means something to me, then I would say that's some kind of success. And I think in a previous video I sort of talked about how perfectionism was it wasn't really so much comprised of the desire to be perfect, but is more comprised of the desire to avoid imperfection. And I was going somewhere with that. Oh, my train of thought is just so poor today. Or maybe this is what it is on average. Maybe this is like the effects of creative block. I should have brought that key. There was a key, right? Yeah. It's not too late. But even in these times when it's difficult to think of anything, when, you know, my mind's empty in large part besides from the thought itself of like, oh, I'm having trouble figuring out what to do, you know, it's still possible to keep moving. And, you know, you can think on your feet or you can think on your butt. And if you think on your feet, then you're getting somewhere at least. You're moving forward. You know, I'm thinking about, you know, there's that big boulder in front of me or whatever, metaphorically. And it's like, well, rather than just like sitting around here and hoping a meteor hits the rock and then I can start moving forward again, let me just start walking around it. Maybe it's a gigantic boulder. I mean, I can't see the edge of the boulder right now, but you know, there's nothing in this world with like infinite circumference. Yo. So if I just keep moving, then at some point I'm gonna get around it. Oh, are you kidding me? Now is not the time. Actually, now is perfect time. Thank you for getting me out of there. But yeah, even if there's no edge in sight, there's still an edge somewhere. And all you have to do is keep on moving. You know, don't like move perpendicular to the boulder, because then you're just walking off in some random direction. But if you hug around the edge of the boulder and you kind of like, you know, get past the halfway mark, then you can start moving back in that same original direction. It's just a matter of keeping track of where you're going. And maybe actually going perpendicular is the smart way to do that, because if you go exactly perpendicular, then once you clear the boulder, right? If boulder's right here, if this is the boulder, I look left, I can't see the end of the boulder. I look right, I can't see the end of the boulder. If I know, okay, I'm just gonna walk perpendicularly in this direction, maybe leave some breadcrumbs like this, then eventually I'll look to my left, I won't see the boulder. I look back at the breadcrumbs. This is the track I took to get around the boulder, and now it's time for me to take a hard left 90-degree turn, and I'll be back in my original direction. Now, I know this video was kind of rambly, but I think to really answer the question, like, what do you do? How do you overcome a creative rut? I would say, you know, don't lose your standards, because you have them for a reason. They're pretty important. Don't beat yourself up over what you can't do, but don't just give up because you can't do it, you know? Do something, anything. Just keep walking until you get around the boulder. That's what I'm going to do anyways. I can say that there is definitely some progress, because 5 days ago I didn't have that you know, that music track that I uploaded on Shorts, and 5 days ago you know, I didn't have a proper title on my video, but now I do, and now I do have a theme of the video. And while I think the video itself is rambly, less interesting, hey, it's just another pebble on the staircase. But yeah, if I'm doing more now than before, then that is progress. And again, like I said before, raising the floor, it's like you play one level of... You get to World 5 on Super Mario Bros., right? You game over. Would you rather start from the very beginning of the game, or would you rather start from World 5? I think it's kind of the same thing. That's what a building capacity and taking those pebbles, those W's, is really about, right? So like I'm not succeeding at my ultimate wins right now, but that's to be expected. Like, this is a rut, right? And a rut means you're lower than normal, and a rut means that you gotta climb out of it, right? So yeah, climb, keep climbing, think while you're moving. Build capacity, get the ability to do different things if you can't work on the same thing, and keep moving.